Welcome. This is artistwriterteller.com podcast, and I'm your host today, Judy Donnelly. And today we have a wonderful guest, a friend of mine from Jonesboro. Her name is Connie Clyburn, and she is an author, and she started working in journalism, and she's a blogger. And so please welcome Connie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Judy.
Now, Connie, I had you as a guest from my book club in Elizabethton, and you sold this book.
Yes.
Would you tell us, it's fabulous, Aging Fabulously. Would you please tell us about this book?
Sure. Yes, I'd be glad to. So Aging Fabulously came about through my connection with a couple of other authors that I used to go to a writing conference with. We still go occasionally, but we had gone for years together, Cynthia and Michelle, who are listed on the book, of course. And we always knew we wanted to do a project together. So Michelle kind of suggested that we do something on aging because we're all three counting our birthday candles, watching them go up a little bit more every year. So she came up with the title, and well, I guess it was a collaboration on that. And then we each wrote, I think there's 52 devotions and all in the book. So each of us wrote, several of them to go in the book, put it together, got a publisher, and that's the basic story on it.
Well, I love it because it really touched my soul, because you talked about your big hair at that one time, and being a cowgirl, not really wanting to do the smelly parts.
Yes, exactly.
There was some other wonderful ones. Is there any one of those devotionals that particularly is poignant for you?
I think probably one of my favorites, and I've mentioned this before, the one you mentioned about being a cowgirl, because that one makes me think of my dad. My dad was, he wore his Western boots and he had the shirts and everything, and he always reminded me of one of the guys on the old Westerns, and he liked Westerns. We used to watch those together. So, I believe that's the name of it. I want to be a cowgirl or something like that. So that one, I talk about my dad in it, and he's been gone since 94, I believe, if I'm not miscalculating. So that's just a really heartfelt one.
Well, I loved it. I loved the whole, the devotionals, even with your other partners. But I in particular touched home with you because I love East Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I think we have a lot of things in common. You like to go hiking, and you just do a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So, and I like the one about the bugs. I don't like bugs.
Yeah, I am not into the bug thing.
And I thought that was really good, because it's God created all these wonderful things, and even the bugs, even though we don't like them.
I know, not one of my favorite things, but I know they're here for a purpose, so I just live with them.
When I started reading it, I thought I don't like snakes. Creepy crawly things.
Oh, me either. In fact, I think I would rather see a snake in my house than a spider any day.
I agree with you. So now you have a new book, or a children's book. Would you show that to our guest, and then tell us about this book?
Right. Now this one, actually, this is another devotional, and I wrote it with adults in mind for my reader audience, but a friend of mine bought it and gave it to her granddaughter, who is maybe around 10 or 11 years old, and she has really enjoyed reading it. Wisdom from the Double Wide I took from my blog of the same name. A lot of funny stories about things that have happened with me and my husband live just a little outside Jonesboro in Telford, and we're out in the country. So a lot of fun things. I always say Telford is not boring. You might think so, but it's not. So I took my little fun stories, added a few more to it that I had done as my blogs. And, I got the idea to turn those little fun stories into devotions as well. So I chose a scripture to go with each one of the stories, and then added in a prayer at the end of it, and, kind of morphed the story into a devotion related to what I had learned from that particular experience.
Well, I think that's wonderful. So there are other things that you do too. I've read on LinkedIn that you wrote a movie. Is that what, or is that just an imagination?
No, I would love to do that. You're speaking prophetically because I would love to do a movie. I do want to do some films when I, learn how to do all that. I'm like, I don't ever limit myself. And again, this goes back to aging fabulously. I don't believe we should limit ourselves due to our age at all. If there's something you want to do, go for it. Learn how to do it.
Now, you got your degree in journalism at ETSU?
ETSU, yeah.
And then you went to Kentucky. I mean, you started here in Jonesboro?
Right. I started here at the Jonesboro Herald and Tribune, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's maybe the state's oldest newspaper. It was, I think, one of the first newspapers in Jonesboro. So it goes back a long, long way. So I spent a couple of years there, fresh out of college. And then, yes, I moved to Kentucky. I worked at 2 weekly newspapers up there in Williamsburg and Corbin, Kentucky. I used to tell people that I lived in Williamsburg and they automatically thought Virginia, but there's a Williamsburg in Kentucky and it's a really nice little town. I still have a lot of good friends from up there. So yeah, I worked there as a news reporter, covering the Kentucky scene, whatever was going on up there. Got a lot of good stories from being up there. In fact, one story I wrote about a couple of mules, and our newspaper photographer went with me, and we ended up winning an award for that layout, the feature and the photographs.
Wow, that's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I also read that you like photography too. So you do take some of your own photography?
I do, yes. I have a digital magazine. So right now, and I enjoy doing photography. Right now, I'm writing most all of the content for that and doing the photography to go along with it.
Okay, so your digital magazine, what's it called?
The digital magazine is called Allow Y'all, Celebrating Southern Appalachia. I may have to explain that name a little bit. There's a term that we use. If somebody tells you something, either it might be something that's a surprise or something that could be a problem for somebody, and you just say, Allow. That's just kind of a saying. So I picked that up and thought I like that. So I put that on the magazine.
Well, that is wonderful. Are you just doing all the writing yourself, or?
I am right now. I mean, I welcome if somebody has a nice feature they would like to submit. I'm open to that. Photography, anything like that.
Oh, well, that is wonderful. Now, we're in the Lost State Writers Guild together,
Yes.
so there's a lot of opportunities for other artists. So if they're and writers. So, do you have any particular advice for people that stepping outside their comfort zone?
Definitely push yourself to do that, because I have had to do that. I, get comfortable. I'm retired, so I spend a lot of time at home, and I have my little home office that I write from, and sometimes I tend to want to just stay there and look at the world out of my window, but you have to get out there and you have to push yourself. And I think not everybody, but a lot of people, as you get older, you tend to settle in. And I think it's important to push yourself and not let yourself do that.
Well, I think that is marvelous. So I do really appreciate everything that you do. Is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
I'm not sure. Let's see. Maybe some more advice. Again, no matter young, fresh out of college, I just went for it. I just did the things that I wanted to do, and I never thought, oh, I can't do that. And sometimes that thought comes to me if I want to do something, and I'm like, no, I can't let myself go there. So that, I guess, is my big advice, is just don't be limited by age. Don't be limited by where you are in life. Don't let anything limit you, because God sees you doing the things that He wants you to do. So see yourself that way too.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I haven't announced it to my audience yet, but in September, I have arranged to do a workshop on how to tell your testimonies through the arts.
Yeah.
So I plan on having artists come in and do some demonstrations, and have the people that are going to be part of it to participate and create things using the Bible.
Okay.
use in Psalms and particularly women. This because that's my target audience is
Yeah.
women and as a mission.
Okay.
And then on a Saturday, it's the last Friday and Saturday of September. And on Saturday, I was planning on having poets and songwriters and short storyteller, short story writing, and then in the afternoon, oral storytelling,
That sounds
which is where I am.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
So I'm hoping that you can help and participate.
Okay. I'd be glad to.
So that's why I'm promoting it a little early, but I do need some people that are the same vision, and trying to encourage women to step outside their comfort zone.
Okay.
So
I like that.
But I really like this. So where can they get your books?
So both books are on Amazon. You can just go search for the title. They're on other platforms. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry. I automatically think of Amazon like everybody else does, but they are on some other platforms, Barnes and Noble. Just about anywhere where you can get books, you can find either one of the books.
Well, I just love this, so I'm looking forward to reading the wisdom of the double wide. And I actually did read some of the blogs on your on the wisdom of the double wide because I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So I really am thankful that you came in today. And,
Well, thank you.
And I hope to see some more books and more of you.
Okay.
I also know that you are a singer.
I am, yes. I sing with my worship team at church. Now, at one time, many years ago, when my husband and I first got married, I was singing with a trio, and we kind of toured the area and sang at different churches. But now I'm mostly just singing at my church.
Well, I think that's awesome. I love musicians. I love all of the arts because God is so creative.
Yeah.
And so I really thank you very much for coming in today and sharing your wisdom, your books, and I really love this. If you're and it doesn't matter what your age is because these books really help us. It doesn't matter your age because we want to encourage young people to get out there and live life and the life that God gives us to or wants us to live. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.